Yoga. I am Grace. We will be doing a Surya Namaskara sun salutation. C practice today. Some sun salutation, and then we're going to come down on the floor and roll around and have a little fun on the floor. So happy that you're here today. Hope your day is going beautiful. And let's begin our practice. So gently and kindly closing your eyes and diving inside, diving into the inner being. Becoming very friendly with this inner being. If you'd like to use a hand mudra, you can do that. And beginning to breathe into the lower abdomen. Nice deep belly breaths. Just taking these few moments to really connect with yourself on a deeper level, on a deep inward level, while you breathe into that belly. And we trigger that parasympathetic nervous system, that relaxation response throughout our whole being, calming that nervous system so our body can begin to go into rest and relax, repair mode, and release those health-building hormones. Just sitting with yourself in a very intimate and friendly way. And scanning the inner being, simply noticing what it's like to be you inside. Knowing this is the most intimate awareness. This is your true source of all love. Noticing the energies and the vibrations, the pulsations, the aliveness within you. Noticing that as you, as a you. And connecting with this inner being with great love and appreciation. And taking this moment now to set an intention for yourself, a gift for yourself. Plant a seed into your consciousness for you. Always in the positive and present moment. And coming back to the breath and the belly. And let's move that into our 3-part yogic breath. So breathing into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And pausing at the top of the breath. And then my favorite, just letting it go. Inhaling into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Pausing at the top and then just letting it go. And one more time, nice deep 3-part yogic breath into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Pausing at the top of the breath and then just letting it go. And let's move to a little Nadi Shodhanam. Let's take those nadis and balance them out, activate them. And we'll be doing a pranayam tomorrow that will be a nadi toning pranayam. But for today, let's just do our Nadi Shodhanam. So we do this a lot, but I will guide you through the first few breaths and then let you continue on your own. So Vishnu Mudra, pointer and middle finger, are either curled in or they're extended out and activating that third eye. And I'm using my right hand, so my thumb is going to close off the right nostril, and either the pinky or the ring finger, the index finger, are closing off the left. So we're going to alternate closing off one nostril at a time and breathing through the opposite nostril. And then we switch on the exhale. So we're going to exhale through one side, we're going to inhale through the same side, and then we're going to switch. Exhale over to the other side. I'll guide you first few breaths and then let you continue on your own. So let's begin. Using that mudra, bringing the thumb to close the right nostril, exhaling out the left side. Inhale, same side. And switch. Releasing the thumb, bringing the finger down to close the left nostril and exhaling through the right. Inhale, same side. And switch. Releasing the finger, bringing the thumb to close the right nostril, exhaling out the left. Inhale, same side. And on the exhale, we're going to switch and continuing on your own for a few more breaths as we tone these nadis, these Ida and Pingala nadis that end at the nostrils. And one more breath. And releasing the hand. And taking a moment to just dive inside and notice sensation. The inner aliveness. That expanding energy field within you. And gently and kindly opening up your eyes. And let's come up to a standing position. I'm going to take more sip of my tea. Coming up to a standing position. And let's just shake everything out. Nice twists and shake. Just opening up the body, maybe moving that spine and the shoulders. Just waking up the body this morning. Beautiful job. Let's do some circles with the hips standing up. Slow enough so you can feel sensation. Find your own rhythm. Keep that breath flowing. Let's go the other direction. One more time. Beautiful job. All right, let's bring those arms up and let's hold on to the right wrist and bring the body over towards the left, opening up that side body a little bit. Let's go over to the other side. The right hand, take hold of the left wrist, and opening up the left side body. Keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center. A little twisting again. Waking up that spine. Or says our spine, they say. Let's move into our breath. So we're going to inhale the arms in front of us. Inhale the arms out to the side. Inhale the arms up above. And then we're going to exhale, bending the knees and coming down. Let's do that together. And end up so you're down, and then nice and slowly, vertebrae at a time, keeping the head relaxed, just rolling up. Nice and slowly coming up. Ragdoll. Feeling all that energy in the spine, the neck, and then eventually raising the head. Beautiful job, beautiful job. So we are going to start with Surya Namaskara, C. Invite you to come to the front of the mat. Let's move into our mountain. So feeling both feet hip width apart. I'm going to look at you for this, but you can look at the front of your mat or whatever works. Both feet hip width apart, and bring your weight to balance on both feet equally. And the fronts of the foot, the back of the foot, the sides, inner, the outer, just feeling your body balanced equal. And then kind of move your body around and find where your center of gravity is. And that's something only you can know. Kind of body will find it where your center of gravity is. Beautiful. And then we're going to feel a lift of the arches. Sometimes I lift the toes and that helps lift my arches, and then I relax those toes back down. Feel the calves engage in your shin loop. The energy is coming up the calves and then down the shins, right below the knees. And then thigh loop. The energy begins just below the knees. So you're going to feel a lift of the knees. You're going to feel these quadriceps, nice front thigh muscles engage. And the energy goes strings. Your thigh loop. And then pelvic loop. Bring this pelvis into neutral. I always need to tuck that tail just a little bit. And then feeling the belly coming up. And a lift in your kidney loop, feeling a lift in the back, your upper back, shoulder loop. You're going to feel those shoulders go back. So the shoulder blades are going to squeeze together a little. And then the shoulders are going to drop down away from the ears. Shoulder loop, the energy comes up between the lips. So the chin is going to come parallel to the floor. It goes back, brings those shoulders flat back, and then down. Shoulders go drop down away from the ears and shoulder loop. And then finally, skull loop, right at the center of your crown, lifting up. So you're going to feel a real lift, almost as if you come an inch taller. And feeling all those loops simultaneously, bringing your body into the ideal posture where gravity will have the very least effect on your body. And you'll stay in very good posture throughout your entire life, even well into old age. You'll have great posture if you keep practicing these principles throughout your life. And the mountain, Tadasana, is the best way to do this. So facing the small edge of your mat, let's inhale those arms up and go into a nice back bend. And then exhaling down, hinging at the hips and bringing those thumbs next to the little toes. You can use a block down here, 2 blocks if you need, and one on either side. Or if you're okay, just bringing the hands down to the hands beside the feet, bending the knees as much as you need, and relaxing the head. You can shake that head out a little bit, release and relax that neck. And then inhale halfway up, feeling that back extend, and then releasing down. And then really rooting those both hands into the mat as you bring that right leg back behind. So we're moving into a lunge. The feet are parallel. They're like railroad tracks. And we're going to bend that front knee so it's right over the ankle. A little micro bend in the back knee as you come up. Then you can straighten that knee out. You don't want to lock the knees. And then bringing those arms up in a nice high lunge. If you'd like to stay in a low lunge, you can always have the hands down on the mat still, or you can drop that back knee to the mat to make it a little easier for you. Let's engage those bandha. Mula bandhas are Kegels. Uddiyana bandha, our belly comes in and up. Jarandala bandha, the chin comes in, tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And breathe. One more breath. And exhaling those hands down to the mat, bringing that left leg back into down dog, downward facing dog. Feeling those heels come down towards the floor. Feel that tailbone sticking up towards the sky and the thighs coming back. Head is between the arms. Engage those bandhas and let's breathe here. Beautiful job. And now we're going to move into a plank position. And you can be up at a high plank or a low plank where you drop the knees down. And we're going to nice and slowly bend those elbows as we come down towards the mat. Let's come all the way down this time. Move into a nice little baby cobra. Getting a little reverberation from the drum. The hands are right below the shoulders, elbows are in, and we're going to set that foundation first. So the pelvis is pressing into the earth. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift the head and the heart into a nice baby cobra. And you're using your back muscles to lift you up. Very little weight on these hands. They're just for stability. And breathe. Nice back strengthener. And then pushing ourselves back into a table position. Let's curl those toes under, back up into downward facing dog. Tailbone sticking up towards the sky, thighs back, heels coming down towards the floor. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. And then lifting the head, lifting the heart, and taking that right leg, and you can take many steps. You can use your hand to help you up, that foot up. You're going to bring that foot ultimately right between the hands again into a high lunge. On this side, remember you can drop the knee down for a low lunge, and you can also stay in a low. You can stay with hands on the earth if you want. You want to challenge yourself into the full position. Nice micro bend in that back knee, squeezing those thighs together a little, coming up to the thigh, and then coming all the way up. Front knee is right over the front ankle. You're going to square those hips, and bring those arms up. Engage those bandhas, and let's breathe in our nice lunge pose. Last inhale, reaching the hands up, and then on the exhale, bringing those hands down to the mat again, bringing that back foot up to meet the front in forward fold. And breathe here, relaxing. And your next inhale, coming up halfway. Feeling that spine reach out away from the body, and then exhaling back down into Uttanasana, forward fold. And on your next inhale, lifting the head, lifting the heart, bringing the arms alongside you, coming back, and then coming back to center into your mountain. And we're going to go through another pose, but we're going to add some variations to the sun salutation. So let's inhale back into our back bend. Exhaling, folding forward, bringing those arms way out to the sides, or you can bring them way in towards the center of the body. We just don't want to reach them out, put pressure on our low back. And relaxing the head. And let's shake that head a little, yes and no, gentle. Just releasing and relaxing the head. Inhaling halfway up. And then exhaling back into Uttanasana. And then with the hands firmly planted on the mat beside the feet, forward. We're going to inhale and lifting the head and bring that right leg back into Anjaneyasana, lunge. And so we're going to a nice micro bend, a little micro bend on that back knee as you come up. Beautiful. Bring yourself all the way up. It's a little balance coming up. We're going to bring that front knee so it's back right over the ankle. This back thigh is engaged. Going into our lines of energy now. Our foundation, we have the feet parallel. Hip width apart. One is back, one is front. And let's square those hips. And bring those arms up. Engage those bandhas and breathe. Next inhale, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, Let's bring those hands down. Let's drop that knee down and let's move into some lunge rocks here. Lunging forward, opening up that hip, lunging back. You're going to feel a nice stretch on the hamstring of the front foot and the calf. Just moving back and forth in your lunging. You can flex and extend the foot, but dive into your own experience with this, finding your own rhythm and really enjoying the sensations in the body, keeping that breath flowing. Moving with great self-love. Really connecting to sensation, the inner being, the inner aliveness. You're moving into the thinking energy, just moving back into sensation, present moment sensation. Be with yourself. Allow your energy to embody. When we go into the head and the thoughts, we are disembodying. We want to really embody during our yoga practice. We'll have plenty of time during the day to move into our wonderful mind and the thoughts. They're good too. And let's come back to center. Let's take that left leg and move ourselves into a table. So the knees are hip width, right under the hips. The arms are right under the shoulders. And let's move into our cat cow. So as we move into cow, we're going to arch that back, lift the head and the heart. And as we move into our cat, we're going to tuck that tailbone under, round that back, drop the head between the arms. And continuing with your cat cow. And beginning to add some little micro movements. Maybe as you move into your cat, you can bring those hips back. Maybe making some circles with the hips. Keeping that breath flowing. If you decide to circle the hips, make sure to go both directions. Balance it out. Just moving back and forth at your own pace. Making any little micro movements that bring you some nice feel so good sensations in your body. And then coming back to center. And let's curl those toes under, both toes under, pressing into the feet and the hands, coming up into downward facing dog. And
walking the dog for a moment here, dropping one heel down towards the mat, opposite knee bends in, and switching sides, and just going back and forth as you gently walk the dog, stretching out those calves, keeping those bandhas engaged, and breathe. And coming back to neutral, we're still in our sun salutation, and we're going to come into our chaturanga, but I'm going to invite you to do a little push-ups. Good. You can drop the knees down, or you can be in a full push-up, and just strengthening those arms before we move all the way down into chaturanga. Add a couple push-ups if you can, just to bring some strength to these arms, build those arms muscles. And it may be just one push-up, and then you come down to rest on the mat. Listen to your body, honoring where you're at. And when you feel like your arms are exhausted, or you feel like you're just done, just come down to the mat. And if you wanting to keep doing some more, that's okay. And if you come down to the mat, just resting the head to one side or the other, and taking this moment to really connect with the earth. Becoming that sponge, imagining your body as a sponge, just absorbing in anything from the earth, any earth energy that can support and heal and nourish your body. So as you lay on the floor, maybe the earth decides it wants to give you some nutrients or energy or wisdom. Whatever it wants, just absorb it in. You may not even know what that is. Just creating that intention. And feeling that oneness between your earth and your body. Every element in your body was once in the earth. You're both earth energy. And coming back to center, let's bring the arms out to either side into our bird. So we've got our wings out here. Let's set that foundation. So pressing that pelvis into the earth. And then our next inhale, lifting the arms, the legs, the head, the heart, and become that bird, just soaring over the earth. And breathe. One more breath. Inhale, trying to lift up a little higher if you can. And then exhaling down. Beautiful job. And let's push ourselves back into our table. Let's curl those toes under, pushing into the hands and the feet, up into upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We're going to do up dog next. And let's take that right leg, three-legged dog, sticking it out behind us. Let's bend that right knee, and let's open up that right hip. Nice hip opener here, and breathe. One more breath. And bringing that foot down. Let's go to the other side. Let's kick that left leg up to three-legged dog. Let's bend that left knee and open up that left hip. And breathe. Both hands firmly on the mat. Just a micro bend in the elbow. One more deep breath. And releasing that leg. Beautiful job. Let's take that right leg up. Any steps you need. So it's right between the hands. Let's move into our high lunge first. So again, feeling a nice little micro bend in the back knee. Thighs are coming together as you come up. And then all the way up. Bringing that front knee so it's right over the front ankle. Bring those arms up. Squaring those hips. And breathe. Engaging the bandhas. One more nice deep breath. And then bring those hands down to the mat. Drop that knee down to the mat. We're going to move into the Lunge Rocks here. So we're going to lunge forward, opening up the hip on the left side. And as you lunge back, feeling a nice stretch on the right hamstring and calf. You can flex and extend that front foot a little to increase sensation. And just moving back and forth at your own pace. Adding any little micro movements you like to add. Just enjoying the movements. Staying in the feel so good zone. Keeping the breath flowing. Keeping the love for the self generating towards your own heart. And coming back to center. Let's curl those back toes under, lift that back foot, and walk that back foot to meet the front. And then resting into Uttanasana, forward fold. Relaxing the head and the neck. Maybe some yes, no's. Inhale halfway up. Extending that spine away from the body. Exhaling back into Uttanasana. And then inhaling, lifting the head first, lifting the heart, hinging at the hips all the way back up into your mountain. And we're going to do one to breath. So inhaling into mountain, into a nice back bend, and then exhaling, hinging forward into Uttanasana. From Tadasana to Uttanasana. Inhale halfway up, half forward fold, and then exhale back into forward fold. Inhale, right leg back into a nice lunge. You can either keep the hands down on the mat or you can bring them up. Exhale, down dog, bringing that front leg back, tailbone up towards the sky. Inhale, we're going to swoop right into up dog. And exhale into down. Inhale, right leg up between the hands. And come into a full lunge or keep those hands down. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold.
fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting the head, heart into our Tadasana, mountain. And then we're going to bring the hands to our heart. And take a moment to close your eyes and dive into sensation. Dive into your own being with great self-love and appreciation. For your own self, for your own aliveness, the dynamic energy field that is within you. And let's take those hands behind our back. We're going to clasp them. And we're going to move into standing yoga mudra as we hinge forward to a little forward fold. Arms are clasped and up above. And this is a time to honor our heart as the highest organ, honoring that heart, that infinite wisdom within us. That connection to the infinite divine presence, source. Releasing the hands, bringing the hands down to the mat. Let's come right into our Baddha Konasana. Why not, right? And clasping those hands around the feet. Let's just rock back and forth a little bit. And flapping those angel wings, butterfly wings. And I think butterflies sometimes are angels. And then slowing that down and feel those knees pressing down towards the earth as you lengthen the spine. The head is moving up towards the sky. And as you exhale, hinging forward. And hinging forward as far as you can go. So you feel that edge in the hips. And just resting on this edge here. Breathing. And you can breathe into the sensations. And see if you can hinge a little bit deeper now. Maybe just a micro movement deeper. And noticing the sensations here. And gently and kindly coming up. Beautiful job. Let's move into single leg forward folds. We're going to extend that left leg out. The right leg is going to bend in. The right foot resting on the inner thigh of the left leg. And we're going to inhale as we lengthen that spine. And then exhale, hinging forward. And again, we're just going to hinge till we feel that edge. Not forcing. This nice gentle edge. And then rest on that edge and breathe. And then you can hinge a little bit deeper in the hip. And then when you find that second edge, just allow that spine to round and bringing the head in towards the knee. And taking a few deep breaths right here. And this beautiful stretch, you may want to massage your foot and do so with great love, knowing that this is a sacred foot. There is no foot more sacred than yours. Every foot is equally sacred because we are the embodiment of the divine. And then on your next inhale, coming up gently. Beautiful job. And let's switch legs. So the right leg is going to extend out, left leg is going to bend in, left foot resting on the inner thigh of the right leg. Going to inhale as you lengthen that spine, and then exhale as you hinge at the hip. So the only thing that's moving are my lips and my hips. And find your edge. And you're on this edge, taking a couple breaths into this nice, deep forward fold. And then see if you can hinge a little bit deeper in the hip. When you find your final edge, allow the spine to round, head coming in towards the knee. Again, you can massage this foot, knowing that this is the embodiment of the divine. This is our body temple. Live. And when you're ready, coming up. Beautiful job. Let's move into a little balancing bear. Then we'll move into our boat. But first, let's just do one leg at a time. Taking one leg at a time, you can take that out to the side. Just feeling the hip open. And this may be your pose. You may be just doing one leg at a time. Let's go to the other foot. And that nice opening of the hip. And coming back. And seeing as you rest back on those sits bones, even that sacrum, bring both heels up and see if you can balance here. And this may be your full pose. You might want to just do one leg at a time. And then see if you can open those legs and balance into the balancing bear. Engaging those bandhas, finding a dristi, a spot in front of you to gaze at, and breathe. One more breath. And releasing down. Beautiful job. Let's move into a boat. So we're going to bring the knees together. Heels are on the floor right now. We're balancing on those sits bones. And we're going to come back a little further as we lift those feet up. And let's go into a half boat right now. You can bring the hands behind the knees, on the hamstrings, very low part of the hamstrings here. Feet are parallel to the mat. And then if you want to challenge yourself a little more, extending those legs and the hands to the side and finding your dristi and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful job. And you can move back into the half boat first, and then bring those feet down to the mat. Let's scoot up to the front of the mat and we can move into our lunge, our spinal rocks.
And ending up so that you're on the mat, flat on the mat. Both feet are on the mat, knees are up. Let's move into a supine pigeon, or sometimes it's called a four. So we're going to keep right knee up, right foot flat on the floor for a moment here as we take the left ankle to rest on the right thigh above the knee. And then we're going to lift up, bring that right leg towards us, hands behind the leg and the hamstring just below the knee, and we're going to pull that right leg in towards the body as we open up the left hip. And find your edge, that nice gentle edge where you're feeling sensation, but you're not forcing so much where you're going to hurt yourself. And engage those bandhas gently and breathe. Nice opener. And relax that leg back down. Beautiful job. And let's switch sides. Take the right ankle and rest it on the left knee. Bring that left foot up, that left leg up. Clasp the hands behind the left leg and pulling that left leg in towards the body as you feel a nice opening in the right hip. Gauging those bandhas and breathe. Should open up the body, opening up the mind and the heart. Immersing yourself with great self-love. And one more breath here. And releasing the leg down. Beautiful job. And let's bring those feet together into Supine Baddha. So the feet are together, hands are wrapped around the feet, and you can gently bring those feet in towards the body, feeling a nice hip opener on both sides. And release. Let's bring those feet up. Nice little inversion. If you like to go into a full shoulder stand, or maybe you want to just stay here with the feet up. Either way, we're giving the veins a nice vacation. If you're in half shoulder stand, if you'd like to hinge over into plow, you can do that. And then tucking the knees in and rolling back. Let's move into a fish. We haven't done that for a little bit. So we're going to extend both legs straight out on the mat. Laying on your back. Palms are facing down onto the mat. And we're going to bring those palms under the buttocks. Both palms under the buttocks. We're going to squeeze those elbows in towards the body. And then pressing into the elbows and forearms as you lift the upper chest and head, and then drop head. So it's right resting back down on the mat. And breathe. And coming out, pressing into those elbows, lifting that head and heart up, and then gently resting down. And let's bring those knees into the chest, hugging those knees into the chest and rolling around. Move into our last pose of the day before we move into some releases and Savasana. Let's move into baby. So bringing those feet so they're facing the sky, opening up those knees nice and wide, wrapping those hands outer side of the feet, and then pulling those knees down so the knees are coming in towards the armpits. Again, feeling a nice hip opener. And breathe. And you begin to roll around and you move into some happy baby, just kicking and playing. Or maybe there's a pose that you really wanted to do and your body needed, so you can do that now. Just enjoying this last little play with your body. Happy baby, Ananda Balasana. And then coming back, we're going to have those knees up on the mat. Move into a couple releases. Let's move into our hula as we swivel those hips. Sacrum and everything is resting flat on the mat. Nothing's lifting up. We're just dropping one hip down towards the heel. Opposite hip is coming up towards the armpit. And then we're swiveling and switching. Opposite hip is coming up towards the armpit. And opposite hip going down towards the heel. Just feeling a nice swiveling of these hips, hula. Noticing sensation, enjoying sensation. Nice releasing of the low back. Keeping that breath flowing. That self-love generating in towards yourself. Self-appreciation. And coming back to center. Let's move into hip pointers, lifting one hip up at a time, pointing up diagonally towards the sky, and then dropping that down. Opposite hip points up. Feeling that nice, gentle twist. And coming back to center, laying flat on the back. And let's go into our cat cow. So as we go into cow, we're going to feel the small of the back pressing into the earth. Tailbone is tucked under. As you go into your cow, feel the small of the back, that lumbar line arching up off the mat. Tailbone is sticking out. And continue with that flexion and spine. Supine cat cow. And coming back to center. And let's move into our Savasana now. So resting those legs out straight. Bring the arms alongside the body and just letting the whole body release and relax into the mat. Letting everything go. And resting in silence as we allow all the practice to integrate through the entire body. All the systems, the energy systems, the physical systems, the emotional systems. Deep integration. Being intimate with yourself in this silence. And gently and kindly beginning to come back, breathing into the belly. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Stretching out arms and legs. And rolling over to one side. And then coming up to a seated position. And taking this moment to check in with yourself again. Noticing the inner being. Maybe noticing any shifts. Maybe feeling a little more spaciousness within. And bringing yourself back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. We will conclude with Namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Ecstatic Yoga. I will be back with a Nadi meditation, which will be activating the Nadi and especially the Kundalini Shakti at the base of our tailbone and our spine, and the Sushumna Nadi, the great river that flows right up the core of our spine, up and out. So join me. We'll be right back for that in a minute. Thank you for joining. Wishing you a most beautiful and blessed day.